Today's live coverage of the second day of SCCA's Valvoline Runoffs is being presented by Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. And also it's being brought to you by Toyota. More choices, better selection. Experience Toyota today. Hi, everybody. Nice to have you here at Mid-Ohio. You can see the cars are out on their pace and parade lap. Now, we want to show you very quickly here just what it takes. I mentioned it in the open. The grueling season to qualify to get to the runoffs. It is a very, very tough season that you have to endure. Now, remember, the Sports Car Club of America encompasses the entire country, but that's an awful big space. So what they end up doing is they divide it into different divisions, and we'll be showing you a breakdown of that. Here we go. 8 different divisions, and then inside those divisions, they are split into regions. Now, there's 109 regions. There's 24 national classes. You've got to run in 6 to 12 nationals in each division. You can run a couple of those races out of division. You only count your top 6 best finishes. The top 10 in each of those classes is invited here to compete in the runoffs and go after a national championship. Now, the SCCA region code, we're going to be showing that to you with a lot of our graphics. And it's defined as the racing organization in which each driver competes during a racing season. You're going to see some graphics come up, and there will be like LOL or Atlanta, ATL. That's the region that they compete in. For more information on that, you can go to SCCA.org, where they have a list of that entire legend, so you can follow along with us if you would like to. But it's important for these drivers. They like to recognize the region they compete in. They're going after that honor as well. At this point, let's bring you our Valvoline Max Life Showroom Stock B starting grid. On the pole, Paul Bonacorsi, 2-time champion in this category, and his Mazda protege, John Fernandez, so fast. This year, he'll join him. Row 2, Bill Haggerty, former champion Ken Payson will be alongside as well. Then, out of the Rocky Mountain Division, Mike Pettiford and Larry DeLude, along with Sam Ryan and Michael Kramer. They will make up rows 3 and 4. 5 and 6 will be Tom Start and Weldon Muncie. Then the next row will be Russ McHugh and John Ruhlin. And as we take you through the remainder of the starting grid, Dorsey, this one, we started off with a showroom stock race. Yesterday was showroom B. This one, as always, promises to be an absolute brawl.
In the last years, Greg, this thing has been nothing but a brawl. We've seen more banging and crashing than we ever have. And it's very cold today. You see these guys very aggressive trying to get heat in those tires.
You can see a field of 31 cars. It's going to be very busy. Now, of course, we mentioned showroom stock. Yesterday, we started off with showroom stock B. This is showroom stock C. Dorsey, exactly what makes that a difference?
Well, pretty much the difference between the two classes is the engine size. Again, only safety modifications allowed to these cars. These are street cars. You can only run a car currently within 5 years of its production base. So these are smaller engine cars than the B cars we saw, but they categorize them on their speed potential. These guys put on a really good show, and you see there's a lot of cars here today.
And they also tend to be very aggressive and agile, and on this course, that's certainly key. But Calvin Fish, also, the temperature today, there's got to be some concerns regarding tires.
Well, there absolutely is, Greg. We saw snowflakes just a few minutes ago, but on the first 3 positions on the grid, 3 different tire manufacturers, BFG, Hoosiers, Kumho's, and in the first 7 positions, we see an additional tire company, Goodyear. So it's going to be a real tire battle out there, seeing which guys got the compounds right and for these very cool conditions this afternoon.
But it's going to be fascinating to watch that strategy play out, the battle, and then, of course, the concern over the tire temperatures. Now, the field coming up and into the chicane section of the track. We are on board. We're going to be enjoying a shot from this guy. He's our pole sitter. That's Paul Bonacorsi. He drives the BF Goodrich A&A Automotive and Valvoline-sponsored Mazda protege. Won the championship in this category in 96 and 98. And again, on his left shoulder is John Fernandez, champion in the Central Division this year. They're working through the keyhole now and coming onto the back straight. Boy, Bonacorsi wanted to bring him up pretty quick, which would indicate maybe his engine runs better when it's revved up a little bit, offers more power. On board for the start. Watch it there. There's the start stand, and we're green. Green at Mid-Ohio to kick off day 2 of the National Championship chase. But look at that, around the outside. Big motor by Fernandez, and somebody inside as well.
Traffic jam city here now. Let's see if they can get it sorted out before they get up here to Madness. There's a little bump right there as they go over the curve.
That was Bill Haggerty in the red machine that got down tight inside the Honda Civic. Couldn't quite make it stick. But nonetheless, looked like Bonacorsi had the braking job done going into the S's, but now heading into Madness, it's Fernandez from the outside up front. So that neon obviously working very well They've been continuing to make adjustments to the cars as they always do in showroom stock to ensure some parity. Here's that turn 11. Calvin calls it his favorite turn on the track. Look at that crest. Apex cresting a hill that falls away down into Thunder Valley.
Uncharacteristically clean first lap for these guys. In the past, we've seen all kind of mayhem in the first lap. These guys got it worked out pretty well, though.
Fernandez has even managed to open up a little bit of room over Bonacorsi. We're on board with Bonacorsi right here. Comes out of the carousel. There's the apex Biz was talking about onto that front straight. Bit of a battle starting to shape up behind him, though. Haggerty, and then what is it? A train of 5, 6, 7 different cars, all squabbling over third right now. But a good run by Bonacorsi. He sits in the second spot right now. But Sandy, I'll tell you, Fernandez has opened up a great lead in the opening lap.
He has, and on the starting grid, the guys were joking around. It was anybody's race the first 5. But John Fernandez says, hey, us cold weather guys got a real good shot at this because Bonacorsi and Bill Haggerty, as you know, both come from warmer climates. Bill Haggerty even said, I've never raced in the cold like this before, so this is the first time for him.
Well, he's in a very heated battle right now. He is managing to hang on to third spot, but Ken Payson is all over him. Dorsey, that number 5 Nissan, really showing some strength, and then there's number 41 Mike Pettiford right there as well.
Ken Payson also a national champion in this class, so you got 3 past champions up in the top 4 right now.
Leading on it hard under braking as they head into the S's. There's Tom Start. He started a little bit further back in the pack, second in the Central Division this year with 2 wins, but he only qualified 9th. But he has been very quick indeed, running very close to Fernandez. Watching him come up to the pack is going to be fun. And there's number 71, Larry DeLude, the Fast Orange sponsorship on that machine as he's trying to join this battle as well. He's actually got those, every one of the workers in their worker packets, the volunteers. Larry made sure they had some Fast Orange. He's a class act out there, and he's right in the middle of a great battle right now. Sits in 6th, right behind Mike Pettiford. But up front, John Fernandez wasting no time at all, moving into an early lead, stretching it out over Paul Bonacorsi here, the early goings of Showroom C.
Introducing Gillette Arctic Peak Shave Gel with the invigorating new fragrance of the Gillette series. New Arctic Peak.
America's Air Force has a plane so advanced, it dominates everything in the air. Yet on radar, it's as small as a bird. The meanest, baddest bird on the planet. Join the team that keeps us flying. America's Air Force. No one comes close.
Now hear this. Need to know what to watch on Speed Vision? Log on to speedvision.com. Find the latest daily, weekly, and monthly program schedules from the world of speed. Get the inside line anytime. Log on to speedvision.com.
Some trucks haul dirt. Some trucks haul bricks. Some trucks haul gluteus maximus. The new 210 horsepower, supercharged Nissan Frontier.
This programming is brought to you in part by fees paid by your local cable company.
Thursdays get vertical on OLN with Warren Miller's Global Adventure. Travel to untracked snow in Antarctica and to one of the few skiable glaciers in Africa. Vertical Thursdays, 8 p.m. only on OLN.
Next weekend, fasten your seatbelt. Speed Vision wants to take you for a ride. First, SCCA Trans Am bangs into action with Cobras and Corvettes. Then Audi's fleet turns up the heat as the American Le Mans tradition continues at Laguna Seca, only on Speed Vision.
Welcome back to the 37th running of the SCCA National Championship, the Valvoline Runoffs here at Mid-Ohio. We're currently on board with the Zero machine of Paul Bonacorsi. Now, last year, the day after the Runoffs, I had the opportunity to drive some of these cars. The Civic was a dominant car. They wanted a more level playing field, so we went out, tested the cars. The Civic was certainly quicker, so they made some changes. But to break things down, I think the Mazda has the best handling, the least amount of horsepower. The Civic still has the most horsepower, and the Neon is somewhere in the middle, Dorsey, so you should see that car and decent handling and decent horsepower as well, that may be the combination to beat this afternoon.
Well, Cal, you know, you're right. We've seen the Neons about 2 years ago were the dominant car, and then last year, of course, it all changed. SCCA trying to keep this class as equal as humanly possible. I say they did a pretty good job. We got a Mazda Protege, a Dodge Neon, a Honda Civic, a Nissan 200SX. A lot of different cars in the top 5.
There's a Saturn right there in the top 10 in qualifying as well, so they've got a nice mix. There's no question of that. And, you know, but we saw that play out in the start. You saw, you know, Bonacorsi tried to bring them up fairly quickly because he didn't want the little bit more grunt, I think, of the Neon engines and the Honda engines to overwhelm them. Even, unfortunately for him, they apparently were able to do that as they got into the S's. Good battle here for fourth is 41 Mike Pettiford in the Go For It driving schools machine has gone around now 07 Haggerty and picked up that 4th spot. Both of them running the Nissans and having a pretty strong run. Right behind them is number 70, Sam Ryan. Then at 71, Larry DeLude. Although DeLude now has gone around Ryan, so that battle continuing to shape up. And Tom Start is there in 8th, working them over as well.
You know, I think, Greg, we talked about it. We can't downplay enough the tire choice here. It's extremely cold. You know, maybe 40 degrees out there at the most. We've had snow flurries. And these guys have several choices, not only on manufacturer, but on certain compounds that they can try.
That's where I think Sandy's talking about Fernandez maybe having a little advantage, you know, running in Central Division. That's up here in the northern parts of the country. They tend to run the cold a lot more often. There are some little tricks you can do to tires regarding inflation and the like that can help you heat the tires a little bit more. I mean, you always run a little risk doing it, but there are some tricks you can use.
Well, I'm not too sure that the fact that these guys are from cold country makes them better, because I'm a kind of a Florida guy, and I'd be running real quick trying to get back to Florida because it is cold out there.
Yeah, get this race done as fast as you possibly can right now. I like that. Good battle here, as we talked about, between number 71, Larry DeLude, in the first of those white machines right there, and then right behind him is Sam Ryan, and Start right behind them. That's what we talked about. But those guys now are reeling in 07 Haggerty.
Really surprised at how equal these cars are. You saw all the noses drop at exactly the same point in the brake zone there. All the cars running almost, I don't think you get much closer than that. Oh.
That's what I was talking about. Haggerty now is feeling some serious pressure from DeLude in that Permatex Fast Orange machine. And right behind him is number 70, Sam Ryan, in the Driving Dynamics and Marin Motorsports entry.
The brake lock up off the rear there, that doesn't hurt much. He's all front-wheel drive cars, so the rear's just kind of dragging along back there. You'll see that from time to time. It's not like when you see the fronts lock up where you can flat spot a tire, you know. The rears don't have a lot of load on them.
Here's that battle, which right now is the one going for 6th. And it looks as though Haggerty, he locks it up again, as you mentioned, just the unloaded tire. But he's managed to open it up. Looks like we're seeing there spots of the track where that Nissan actually has the legs a little bit, and then the cars behind close it right back up again.
Well, like Calvin said, some of these cars make their speed in the straightaway on horsepower, others in handling, and this is a good racetrack, Mid-Ohio, to mix the two of them up. It's not really characterized as a high-speed track or just a handling track. It's got a little of both. Both ends are different.
A couple of different lines there from number 70. That was Sam Ryan as he worked through turn 1. Right behind this guy, we're watching Larry DeLude. And Larry, once again now, has caught 07 Haggerty in the Nissan and is really starting to put some pressure on. He's trying to wedge it down to the inside. Now, they say the Neons have the engine here, but exit speed, as you pointed out earlier, so crucial out of the keyhole.
Saw Bill Haggerty right there with the unloaded tire up in the air at the rear, and it looked like Larry DeLude was trying to put his nose right underneath that tire and help him along. Look here, the draft at the back.
Well, a little less rolling friction when you get that one tire up in the air.
That's a fact.
Oh, here we go. Watch for it. Here comes the move. Is it going to work? DeLude this time locks up, trying to get down inside Haggerty. Right in front of them. You can see how intense that battle is in front between Pettiford and Payson. Right there is number 5 Payson, first red car. Right there is 41 Pettiford, then Haggerty. Then right behind him is DeLude. Then the Start now. Start has gone around Ryan.
I was going to say, you got to watch out there, right? Tom Start is going to be right on the back of Larry DeLude here in a minute. I think that's why you saw DeLude trying to make that pass. I didn't think he'd make it, but Start had a run coming too, though.
I think I know why we're seeing Larry DeLude put in such a determined drive here. Rumor has it that car is going to be on eBay for sale at the end of the weekend, so he's trying to let everybody know that it's fast. It can go out up in the front. By the way, of course, so we were talking a little bit about the the effort that SCCA really constantly has to make to keep these cars in check. And Calvin, it is an ongoing task and certainly not an envious one.
It really was. Last year when we tested the cars, we suggested some changes, myself and some of the other Mid-Ohio School instructors. And in fact, what they did on the Neon was give it the SSB spring package, which drops the car a little bit, giving it less roll through the turn. So that's certainly a factor here around this racetrack. On the Mazda, they want to slow it down a little bit. In fact, last year, Paul ran a 49.4, and this year he qualified on the pole at 50.1. So they slowed it down about 3/4 of a second by putting a lighter rear bar on it and actually putting the power steering back on, which decreases the horsepower of that Mazda.
Well, and obviously he still was able to put the car on pole, Calvin. But at this stage, it is number 83, John Fernandez, out in front. There's Fernandez, your leader in the margin now officially, just a tick over 2 seconds. However, Paul Bonacorsi, we're on board with Paul right now. He's closing it up as we're just past quarter distance in Showroom C.
Hey, did you cancel the paper?
You bet.
You stopped the mail?
Absolutely.
Did you remember to turn on the alarm?
Totally forgot.
ADT's home monitoring technology is so advanced, you can turn it on from any phone, anywhere. And in seconds, your house will be covered with a high-technology blanket of protection. Call now and get ADT's sophisticated burglary system installed for as little as $99. You could also save up to 20% off your basic homeowner's insurance. ADT's Advanced Monitoring Center is staffed by skilled professionals, always on full alert and ready to send help in seconds. That's why ADT helps protect more homes and families than any other security company in America.
Is there anything else
Call now and get the ADT burglary system from $99 installed, plus up to 20% off your homeowner's insurance. Get the power of ADT.
On the last Sunday in October, there will be a final showdown between the world's fastest racers at the world's fastest speedway. The 500, presented by Toyota at California Speedway. Don't just watch the race, live the race. Call 1-800-944-RACE for tickets.
Next Sunday, the world's best riders stretch the laws of gravity. First, Colin Edwards spins up some heat in Japan. Then will Kenny Roberts put another championship trophy on the family shelf? All the action heats up at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, only on Speed Vision.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio. The showroom stock seat battle is now in full flight. Look at this move coming from way back. That's Haggerty. He's working around Payson, and you can see 41, Mike Pettiford, has taken over third. He just did it under braking going into turn one. A great pass. You've got to execute it perfectly there. And Pettiford did. He is now in third. Payson struggling to hang on to fourth under intense pressure from 07 Haggerty. Then right behind him is Duluth at 06 Stark. Still right there is number 70 Ryan. But Mike Pettiford, boy, once he got around Payson, he is checking out.
Well, I think he got the advantage here. Once that shuffle started happening, we've been commenting how gentlemanly this has been so far.
Yep.
Well, a lot of bumping and stuff went on when I worked break, and I think that has shuffled it up. But all these guys now fully awake and going after it.
Yeah, Haggerty and Payson did a little bit of nudge and go here as they got into the keyhole on the last lap, and that, of course, gave Pettiford a bit of a break. But there's Payson, number 5, right behind him, Haggerty, the two red machines chasing Pettiford's similar liveried machine, and then the white freight train behind. As they head down into turn one, Pettiford looks very good through this section. There's Payson. There's a good look at Ken Payson, former national champ, as we talked about, a very, very talented driver in this category of car. 6 wins he had in 10 podiums. He ran 10 races this year in the Northeastern Division. He won the championship there, Dorsey. He did it 6 wins, but every race he was on the podium.
Look here now, Greg, as they're starting. Now they're starting to let each other feel the presence of one another. Little bumping going on.
And Duluth, boy, he wanted to mess up the exit
Here
there a
comes
little
the white
bit.
guys.
And he's got to run now. Can he make the move? That's Haggerty chased by Duluth.
Looks like he has enough power. Looks like he lost a little bit. Had a good run going, but it didn't go anywhere. Now the brakes on.
Now he's going to try it anyway. Oh, and Haggerty tries to defend. Oh, I don't think they touched, but I'm not sure how they didn't. Did you see the big wiggle by Haggerty?
Yeah, big time wiggle because they got in there too deep trying to defend, and then was a little bit it offline. It was that they both gave each other racing room there. They could have bumped real easily.
Very easily. And meanwhile, the pace of this battle, I mean, oftentimes we see guys battling and it slows them down, but in this case, the intensity of that battle has carried not only Haggerty, but Payson right back onto the rear spoiler of third place, number 41, Mike Pettiford.
And like you said, once it started getting aggressive, everybody's got hooked up, and instead of riding, they're all really racing right now.
Watching there, that's Larry Dulude up into the carousel. Coming around, they'll be completing lap 10. Check that, lap 9 this time by here. As out front, Fernandez got himself a pretty good margin and already had gone through the checkers. The lead margin right now is 3 seconds for Fernandez over Bonacorsi. Now let's go back to the incident heading into the S's that we were talking about and just how close this was. There's Dulude thinking about it.
In the brake zone, and you see the rear brake lockup. Now he turns in with a lot of two right here that could have hit, but they never did. That was really good driving by both guys to not let that happen. There's where he's in trouble. Right there, the car's getting pretty ugly right to that point.
Boy, it went into an oscillation big time, and he managed to save it. Up into the keyhole now, the battle continues. Here's the story so far. Bonacorsi is second. The margin back to 41. Pettiford now in third is 12 seconds, Dorsey, in only 9 laps. So those two guys up front are gone.
Yeah, Bonacorsi, I thought, he had a big pole position here, almost 6/10 faster than any other car. Didn't show up. Look here.
Here's Payson. He wants back around Pettiford. Down into the S's. He got it. And with some apparent ease. Now, does he get... Oh, look at this move around the outside by Haggerty. Trying to run the outside, get the inside here. He's there. Oh, up on the curb. And again, they didn't touch.
Boy, oh, boy.
Wow. So Payson now back in the third, Pettiford fourth. Haggerty fifth, and then those 3 white neons. Wide line through there for Payson.
All these guys are going to be in this thing together. If somebody makes a mistake, they're all going to be involved, it looks like.
Whoa, trouble there. Two off by Haggerty.
Gather that back up. That's a bad place to go off if it goes across the racetrack the other way on you.
Or even if it stays off on that side. There's about 4 or 5 feet. It's concrete, too, so... It's Calvin's favorite corner because he doesn't have to drive it much.
Well, he obviously has to crash here before the guy has it.
Oh, so how does that corner rate for you?
That's the big hit when you do it. That's how I know about that.
Payson now officially on the monitors picks up third with Pettiford fourth, Haggerty fifth. We got a couple of guys starting to close up from the back, and one of them is the Saturn coming on strong. Michael Kramer, number 19 in the Texaco Haviland Kumho Tire Saturn. He's starting to reel that group in as well. There's our gang of 6, and there's Kramer.
And Tom Stark again right behind him. And you're right, Greg. There's 3 more cars involved in this train of cars now than there were a lap ago.
Yeah, well, behind the Saturn is number 88, Weldon Muncie out of Chicago, Illinois. The Mazmax and Mannheim Auto Auctions Mazda protege. So this is classic showroom stock C action. What's happening out front is impressive and amazing. I guess maybe it's not surprising. John Fernandez, who's leading by such a huge margin now, he ran 9 races in Central Division this year, Dorsey, and won every one of them. He ran all of the Sendiv and a few Auto Division and never lost. So he's having obviously one heck of a season here. But look at this. It's heating up. Boy, showing it, looking for it, but not able to execute it so far. And Payson, boy, it's nerves of steel time for this guy. 41 Pettiford coming up hard. Still hanging there in fourth. And then 07 Haggerty rounding out our top 5. And we are now officially halfway here at Mid-Ohio.
You see a lot of gas additives on the road today, but you can pass them by when you choose new 104 Plus Octane Boost with Acceleron. Our new Acceleron technology delivers power and performance to any vehicle, old or new. Just 1 bottle boosts octane effect, cleans engine parts, and improves miles per gallon safely with long-lasting results. Get a kick out of driving. Get new 104 Plus Octane Boost with Acceleron.
Put the food down, walk away, nobody gets hurt. Let's do it! I got him!
think you're tough enough to drive to Tacoma? Join the club. Introducing the double cab with over 5 feet of bed length.
You just can't mess with a man's salad.
Word up.
Tonight, head to Daytona for Bike Week on American Thunder. Then restore a Mach 1 Mustang. Plus, watch Billy Bob get chummy with the Chopper Chicks. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern, Hot Rod TV at 7:30, and Lost Drive-In at 11.
Today's live Speed Vision coverage of the Valvoline Runoffs is being brought to you by Valvoline Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. And by new 104 octane boost with Acceleron TM Power. Back at Mid-Ohio, there's your leader. He is absolutely gone, putting in an absolutely great drive. Let's go down the pit lane and check in with Sandy Yang.
Well, check out his times. If you look, he just turned a lap 6/10 faster than his qualifying time. His team member, David Hayden, is right here, about ready to snap another time here. Here he goes. What do you got?
50:01.
It's right on his qualifying time, guys. He's actually going there just a few seconds in front of the leader, and there it is. That is his qualifying time right there.
Wow, I mean, obviously, Dorsey, they got that tire situation completely figured out.
Well, you look at that sheet he's got there.
Yeah.
Most of those times are underneath his qualifying time by half a second, which is pretty amazing. I can almost guarantee that car will have an extended visit at the tech garage tonight. They'll be looking at that one real close.
Meanwhile, here's the battle that we've been following for some time, and guess who's joined the party? There he is. Mike Kramer in the Saturn is right there, and really has reeled those guys in. And, of course, all that scrapping up in front is probably hanging everybody up just a little bit, but nonetheless, this is a good show. There he is, Kramer in the Texas Avalon Saturn. And this car's got pretty solid straight-line speed. There's no question of that. We'll see if he's able to do anything here. Oh, Haggerty looks like he might be in trouble. He didn't get out of that turn well, did he, Dorsey? And now they're just teaming up and freight training.
Yeah, you look now, a couple guys working the draft together. That's a smart thing to do. Everybody's trying to get out of this. You know, you look back in the rearview mirror, and there's 9 cars back there. That's more than you want to play with.
And also, there's Kramer. Kramer just got underneath number 70 and picks up a spot as well. And it looked to me like I may have been seeing some snowflakes, Sandy. What's going on outside?
Well, you're not seeing things. You don't need to go to the doctor because we do have sleet down here, just a little bit, intermittent, but it is sleet. It is not rain, and I don't know if that's going to start accumulating on the windshields for these guys pretty quickly.
Well, it certainly, if it continues, is going to change the condition of the track and make things very, very interesting, especially with the guys running some serious heat now in these tires.
You know, Greg, I don't see any of that sleet here in the booth. It feels pretty warm.
Oh, I'm not going there because I got to fit people another day, Darcy.
Yeah.
But you feed them every night, so you can get away with that stuff.
Well, I know those guys. I'm telling you, it's miserable cold out there. Those guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, great job, and it is serious difficult duty down in pit lane for our pit folk, and we appreciate the great work that they do always, certainly, but under these conditions and stuff. Haggerty, boy, you can see it now. There's the snow. I mean, that's just flat snow, and Haggerty is just dropping big time here. You'd almost have to think maybe something has gone off.
Michael Kramer really doing a good job now, too. That Saturn is on the prowl. He's moved up a couple more.
Yeah, he's gone around Ryan now. Picked up a couple of spots. There's the battle behind Pettiford, the number 71 of Dulude, and the 06 of Stark. That's a strong battle for 5th right now. And now there's a little bit of a gap back to Kramer in the Saturn. But look at the battle now. That's heating back up for 3rd as number 5 Payson and 41 Pettiford and the 2 red machines, the 2 Nissans, are starting to go after it big time as well. Then right behind them is this battle for 5th. There's Dulude. But right behind him is Tom Stark. Watch for Stark. He's in his draft. See if he's going to try anything. There he goes. Stark ducks to the inside. Pettiford going to try and go around the outside in the battle for 3rd. He's wide, but he stays there. He's inside. And look at this as Payson fights back. If he can stay put, he's got the inside for the approach to madness. He does. Still side by side. That's 3 turns, Dorsey.
Well, that's good racing right there. That's 2 guys working with each other. They're both fighting, but they're not crashing each other. You can't trust many race car drivers to do what they're doing right there.
Now madness, and now here into turn 11, and it looks like there's a little sheen starting to form on that track as well. That's going to keep it interesting. Look at that. 6 corners they went through, side by side, never a touch. As you said, these are 2 guys who know their craft here and have done a great job. But all of that offline racing is a lot. Look at that. There's Stark, who managed to get around Dulude, and in that sequence of corners, Dorsey, he's caught him, and Dulude's not far back. We now have a 3-car battle for 3rd.
So that side-by-side two cars as you can with one, and that stacked them all up again.
So Start now has joined the party in terms of the battle for third. It's still Payson with 41 Pettiford right there, and then 0-6 Start. Again, Start, as I talked about, had a very strong season. If it hadn't have been for Fernandez, Start would have been all world in the Central Division. He had a couple of wins, 6 times on the podium, but his problem was he had to race against Fernandez, who went undefeated.
Look right there, Ken Payson, the 52.8, almost a 53, is 2 seconds a lap slower than our leaders, and that's what that side-by-side cost him.
Yeah, it was very difficult. Here now is that's the number 11. They got some good racing going on a little bit deeper in the pack. Number 31, that's John Saucier, and number 11 is John Rulin, and they're duking it out for 17th right now. That gives you an idea of it doesn't matter where you are in the pack in showroom stock competition. You always end up finding somebody to race with. Oh, and look at what's developing here. Pettiford has gone underneath Payson, this time going in to the S's. Start trying to follow him through. Now Payson has to do it all over again, but that's going to allow Pettiford to get away. Oh, bump! There was a bump.
See, I told you you couldn't trust everybody to do that just like that. It's not over yet, though. They're side by side.
Start fights back here.
Look at the guys behind now. Guys all behind got stacked up.
Okay, Start gives way because I think you thought that Duluth would just go rocketing through if he stayed with it here. And Kramer right there in the Saturn. You can see the cloud cover has definitely moved in. When the day started here, it was pretty much clear skies and very cold. Now the cloud cover's moved in. You can see the little bits of snow, and the temperature continues to drop, keeping things interesting. There's Payson, Start, Duluth, and right behind him is Kramer. So Pettiford gets a little bit of a breather. We're talking all of 3 or 4 car lengths is all I guess you're allowed in this category in this battle. So Pettiford has a little bit of comfort there. It races out of the Rocky Mountain region, or the division, the Colorado region, and there is 0-6 Tom Start, continuing to apply the pressure to number 5, Ken Payson, in what is their personal battle for 4th. It looks like they may be reeling Pettiford in once again. And we are now 3/4 of the way through the Showroom Stock C National Championship chase in Mid-Ohio. The last quarter coming right up.
Are you tired of cleaning over and over again, only to have the same old stains come right back? Then don't clean your kitchen or bathroom. Zap it! Presenting Zap 2000, the professional strength restorer used by contractors for over 7 years. Zap 2000 is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Just pour it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. And in minutes, your surfaces are back like new. Zap 2000 is a restorer, not a cleaner. Ordinary cleaners only work on surface dirt, but Zap 2000 actually penetrates stains to restore surfaces to their original new shine.
You pour it out, you leave it set. There's no rubbing, there's no scrubbing. You go back a couple of minutes later and you just wipe it up, and it's all done.
This shower head is clogged with hard water and mineral deposits. But look, after just one application with Zap 2000, it's restored like new. And watch as Zap 2000 goes to work on this old garden shovel. Years of rust just melt away. Zap 2000 with its fresh wintergreen scent works on porcelain, chrome, fiberglass, toilet bowls, rust, even hard water stains. In fact, Zap 2000 is so effective, it's guaranteed to remove any stain from any of these surfaces or your money back.
It restored my grout to bright white. It cleaned my tile, the bathroom surfaces. It lifted that soap scum off, cleaned the hard water stains, the rust, and the smell is fantastic.
Zap 2000 is so concentrated, just one bottle replaces over $50 worth of ordinary cleaners. Call now and receive Zap 2000 Restorer plus Zap 2000 Easy Spray Cleaner and 2 industrial Zap pads, all for only $19.95. But wait, call in the next 5 minutes and we'll double your order for free. That's right, 4 bottles of Zap 2000 for only $19.95. Operators are standing by, so call the toll-free number or send check or money order to Zap 2000, Box 2220, Agora Hills, California, 91376. Remember, call in the next 5 minutes to receive 2 free bottles of Zap 2000. Order now.
Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, where Paul Bornacorsi is giving you a great look. Well, if you need to look to find out what's going on throughout a weekend in racing action and activity and results, Speed Vision News Race Week is your source Sunday night, every Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 p.m. Pacific Time. Speed Vision News Race Week. You can find out what's happened throughout the weekend of racing. And Dorsey, while we were on board, there was an interesting noise coming from the Mazda Protege. Obviously, it's muffled. It's very quiet, but what was that?
Well, you know, it could be the exhaust system banging on the bottom bottom of the car. That's what it kind of sounds like. We also could see out the windshield that in certain parts of the racetrack, it's coming down. The rain or the sleet or whatever that is coming down. It looked like up by the keyhole to be the worst right then.
We just saw the graphic. Best lap for Fernandez, a 1:49.5. His pole lap was a 1:50.1. So obviously they have figured something out here, and he is just looking absolutely.
Actually, it was Bonacorsi who had the pole at 50.1.
Yeah, check that. I'm sorry.
So Fernandez's best lap of the whole qualifying was a 50.8. So he's over a second faster than his qualifying in this race.
41 Pettiford right there hangs on to the third spot, but now you see Tom Start has gone around Payson, and Start in the neon has picked up the fourth spot with right there Payson slotting into fifth. Now Calvin just called up and gave us during the break some horsepower figures. The Civic that Haggerty's driving that has slipped back a little bit, runs 160 horsepower, carries the weight as well. We have a waving yellow, the approach to the keel, and there's somebody going counter course. That's trying to get out of the way there, of course.
Yeah, somebody spun around and now is headed in the opposite direction of the race flow, which is not what you'd like to see. And then while that was all going on there, we were watching the Saturn moving up again.
Yeah, he's having a great race. As I mentioned, the Neon runs 135 horsepower about, and the Mazda Protege about 125. So the Neon, a little bit more legs on the straight, but the Protege a little bit more in the corners at this stage. But right now, look at Tom Start starting to really put the pressure on number 41 Pettiford. Oh, and Start continues to press right here very hard indeed, with Payson just sitting back watching. I think as Payson might be dropping off just a little bit here. So he may be just, now take a look. Here's what caused the spin door, and that's Paul Bonacorsi, who was running second.
That's Paul was putting a lap on this car and jumped the curb, the 38 car. Look, they hit 3 times right there. That's the leader making a big mistake. Look, on board here. He's going around the S's right now. He's trying to go up the inside. 38 doesn't know he's there, turns in. That's the first hit. Watch here. That's the second, and there was another one right after that.
Yeah, it was Ernest Jendenko.
That's a good way to throw away a national championship when you got a huge lead.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's those secondary hits sometimes are the one that really do the damage.
Well, with a lead like he's got, there's no reason for him to be so aggressive in passing a car that's going a lap down. Of course, that was the entrance to the keyhole. All he had to do is wait another 2 seconds, and he'd have been on the straightaway and gone right by. But look at the snow come down.
Yeah, he's about 10 seconds adrift to the overall leader, Fernandez, at this point. So Bonacorsi, I mean, he's going to need something massive to develop here to be able to take a shot at the win. He needs help. Meanwhile, Tom Start trying to work some help of his own, pushing Mike Pettiford and pushing him mercilessly right now into the keyhole. Start a little bit wider entry. Oh, big wiggle from Pettiford. Another one. That's all it's going to take. Start. Slips underneath. Now Pettiford, he's going to fight it out on the outside. This ought to be interesting.
That was definitely moisture on the racetrack. You saw the car break loose right in the middle, and we saw up there is where it's doing something. Look at Payson up the inside, 2 wheels in the grass.
3 abreast, Dorsey. Down into the S's. Payson inside, then Start. Then on the right is Pettiford. There's Payson and Start. Well, I wonder if Pettiford checked up thinking he's going to sneak through. You bet he did. Oh, both those guys up front, though, they've got it figured out. Start on the inside, to the right of the screen. Boom! There's the nudge from Payson. Wanting a little room to widen the angle out.
Well, they both have the rearview mirrors still on, so I don't think they hit because they would have knocked them off. And it was as close as you can get. Pettiford being wise, watching that in case they do bump, he could move up 2 positions real quick. Look at it snowing right here.
Pettiford, you almost wonder if he's being a little cautious there, thinking these 2 guys could well take themselves out. Now our leader, that's how big a lead that Fernandez has. He has already started his last lap, and these 2 guys, these 3 guys in this battle, just coming up to the carousel. There's Payson, there's Start. Well, Ken Payson's showing how you win national championships by taking advantage of opportunity.
Watch this when they get the white flag. This is pretty much heated up on this last lap. Look at it all coming down now.
It is really starting to come down. You know the track's starting to get very slick. And it's in these conditions when the track can sometimes be absolutely terrible. Just a little sheen on top of all of that rubber that's been down. And it gets very slippery indeed.
Wow, these 3 guys finally got broke away from the other ones.
Yeah.
Boy, behind that battle, there's about a 5-car train. They're really duking it out. Look back here.
Oh, side by side. Eric Kramer applying a lot of pressure on Dulude. There's 70 Ryan right behind them.
19's in the middle of that with the Saturn. Michael Kramer really giving a good run to that car.
Yeah, there's another Saturn in the mix there, too. I think that's 20 Mike Londo up from 20th. Talk about a good run there.
Watch this. Watch this down the straight. We're already side by side back here.
Yeah, see, there's the other Saturn, and here comes number 32, Ralph Porter, inside. Oh, absolutely even in the braking zone here.
Oh, that was close.
Oh, no, George, see, they still have mirrors.
Yeah, they got mirrors. All right.
Look at this, though. Ryan trying to work the outside of Kramer. Meanwhile, here we go. Completing his lap, completing his run, and earning a medal. Your winner, John Fernandez out of Rochester, Michigan, becomes national champion in Showroom Stock C. A good 11 or 12 seconds behind him is Bonacorsi. Here's the battle a little bit deeper in the pack that we've been following. There goes Duluth. There's Kramer. There's Ryan. 19 and 70. Here's Duluth. He's actually moved out. He's all by his lonesome in 6th right now. Oh, boy, look what's happening behind. There's some luck. Number 20. Onto the front straight, and there, Payson. Ken Payson ends up with a medal with about a lap and a half to go, being in 5th. Payson ends up with a medal, and absolutely superb and very savvy run by Ken Payson.
Man, did he earn that one. He had to work all day for that one. I can't believe John Fernandez, with that amount of win, I don't think I've ever seen a Showroom Stock C category won by more margin than that one.
No, officially 13 and a half seconds, and then another, what would that be, 20 seconds from Bonacorsi back to Payson. So that lead duo, they really had an advantage of some sort on the field. But it could have just been the conditions and the handling and the setup. We'll come back and meet our medalists right after this.
Charles Dickens can write a story about this game. Tell me about it. What's this? It's my Ameritrade account. You follow the market? Yeah, I do the research right here. Oh, kidding. Yeah, like I bought this 6 months ago. I said I'd sell if it hit 65, and today it did. How'd you know? I got email alert. I tell Ameritrade what I want to hear about, and then they tell me when it happens. Really? Oh, yeah. Great. I could use that. Yeah. Do the research, get the email, place the trade. Check this. The whole thing cost me a grand total commission of $8. I hate that chicken.
Open a cash account with $500 and get 25 internet equity trades commission-free in the first month. Call 1-800-AMERITRADE. That's how you get somewhere on Wall Street.
Saturday nights at 7 Eastern, feel the rumble of the V-Twin on American Thunder. And at 11 Eastern and midnight Pacific, it's Hot Rod and Biker Flicks at the Lost Drive-In. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern and the Lost Drive-In at 11 Eastern, 12 Pacific, every week on Speed Vision.
Put the food down, walk away, nobody gets hurt.
Let's get him! I got him!
Think you're tough enough to drive a Tacoma?
Give me back!
Join the club. Introducing the double cab with over 5 feet of bed length.
You just can't mess with a man's salad.
Word up. Welcome back to Mid-Ohio, everybody, where we have crowned the first national champion in our live coverage of this second day, number 83. What a great run for John Fernandez as we continue to bring you the live coverage of the SCCA's Valvoline Runoffs, the national championships. And, of course, we've got 4 more races coming to you live today. 3 went off this morning, and we had all of the racing from yesterday. 24 classes, when it's all said and done, are going to be crowned. But our first time today is this gentleman right here. And let's bring you our CarParts.com as Showroom Stock C provisional results. Fernandez, one of the most dominant drives I've ever seen. But when you go undefeated with 9 wins in the season, I guess that's not a huge surprise. Paul Bonacorsi, a great drive to second. Then the war. Ken Payson winning it over Tom Start, Mike Pettiford, who was right there the whole time. Larry Duluth, Michael Kramer got into a great dice near the end along with Sam Ryan. And there's Mike Londo coming up in the number 29 machine in 9th. And 10, Ralph Porter and a couple of those guys coming from fairly deep in the pack, Doris. Here's some great racing and some great drives.
I tell you what, those guys had a lot of fun today. From Ken Payson on down, that pack of cars really, like Rob Dyson, who was here a little while ago, said, that's the closest he's seen racing that clean in his life. You know, that was pretty awesome driving there.
That was awesome driving indeed. And while our winner, our gold medalist, celebrates, let's go down to Sandy Hang, who's with our silver and bronze medalists.
And Paul Bonacorsi, a great run. At the very beginning, it looked like Fernandez just had a little more, and you weren't able to stay with him.
Oh, yeah, he did. I got the best start I can possibly get. Only one car got ahead of me, the higher horsepower cars. And he had a little more motor than I did, and the cold weather took a little longer to get my tires going. But it was a blast. I thought I'd be able to catch him and he'd go away, and I couldn't. I'd like to thank Mazda and Mazda Competition Parts for, you know, supplying us with parts whenever we wreck them. And then, of course, the family.
Yeah, you had some big fans that were standing here cheering for you.
Yeah, it was a tough race. It got a little boring there in a while, but it was still fun. I need to thank everybody who helped me get here. And hi at home. I'll say hello.
Okay, great race. It looks like you might have a future race car driver here.
Camera.
Zoom, zoom, number 0.
All right. Hey, thanks, Paul. Let's go move on down. We'll try to find Ken Payson, who was standing over here just a moment ago. He has just stepped aside. We'll try to get him in just a moment for you. Back to you guys in the booth.
All right. Thanks very much, Sandy. Obviously, they're doing some celebrating down there, and Ken Payson's probably wondering how he survived, let alone makes his way in for a medal there. Just an absolutely great drive for Ken. And it happened. I mean, this was one of those cases where a driver with tremendous experience, a knowledge in the class, jumped on an opportunity and absolutely made it happen. And there's Paul continuing to celebrate. Some of the crowd. Boy, they are toughing it out. There is no question here. They are watching it. Now, we're going to go back and take a look at a couple of fairly key moments in this one, Dorsey.
Take a look here. Michael Pettiford in the 41 car. In the keyhole, he turns in. And remember, it's been raining a little bit, so as he goes down the hill, the thing breaks loose. He wiggles, catches it. That's all it took, though. And the passes are happening.
That was Tom Start who got inside, but Payson read that beautifully, and then he popped and made it 3 wide.
And that's at the end of that straightaway. It is 3 wide. Payson read that perfectly, like you said, moves to the inside. And this is Ken Payson his best. Look at these guys give each other room as they come up over the madness right here. It's hard enough to do one car at a time. These guys repetitively did it side by side.
Side by side, and of course that kept Payson right in the perfect line as they dropped out of the S's and into madness, and he went on, took over that 3rd spot, and ended up getting a bronze medal as a result. A very, very heady drive for Ken Payson. I think everybody, though, are going to be shaking their heads right now, and they're going to be talking about the win that John Fernandez put together. There's a couple of moments. That was when Bonacorsi was trying to do anything he could to catch our winner. He couldn't do it. When we come back, we'll have to meet our winner.
You keep an eye on the websites your kids are looking at. You make sure your wife's cell phone battery is fully charged. And you haven't missed a day of work in 12 years. So it comes as no surprise that your auto parts are AC Delco. When the right way is the only way. AC Delco Automotive Parts.
Now, Cornerstone Promotions brings back the spirit of the 60s with the greatest songs of an unforgettable era.
There's a sense of compliments and meaningless nouns. Turn on, tune in, turn your eyes around. Give me a head with hair, long, beautiful hair. To everything, turn, turn, turn. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. In a white room with black curtains. Sign, sign, everywhere a sign. Looking at the scenery, breaking our minds. You and I come to the beat of a different drum. Come on, people now. Smile.
Spirit of the 60s on 2 cassettes or 2 CDs. Call this toll-free number for Spirit of the 60s. Cassettes $19.98, CDs $26.98 plus $5.50 shipping. Have your credit card ready and call now.
Tonight, head to Daytona for Bike Week on American Thunder. Then restore a Mach 1 Mustang. Plus, watch Billy Bob get chummy with the Chopper Chicks. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern, Hot Rod TV at 7:30, and Lost Drive-In at 11.
Welcome back to the Valvoline Runoffs here at Mid-Ohio, everybody, where our first race of the 5 we're going to be bringing you live today has concluded, and we have ourselves a national champion. And to boot, it's a new one, Sandy.
Well, I'm now with the winner, John Fernandez. We were joking on the pre-grid that you were the cold weather guy, and it looks like not only you liked the cold weather, but your car did.
Yeah, the weather was just perfect for us. We felt like if it was a little cold today with not a lot of sun, that our handling would be a little bit better than Paul's, and our engine would be a little bit better than Paul's, and that's kind of the way it turned out. So we're real happy about that.
Now, at one point, you were turning times that were faster than your qualifying lap.
Well, I don't know, my crew chief just kept keep going, and kept giving me the intervals. So we didn't worry about the times. We just drove the car hard all the time.
Do you think the cold weather really maybe have been better for the motor than your qualifying?
Yeah, I think the colder the weather is, the better our engine seems to run. I like to thank my wife because she bore with me all year. We ran 16 races this year, and Dave Hayden, my crew chief, did a heck of a job. And the Hoosier Tires and Bruce Foss's guys have been just great all year. So it's just been a phenomenal run.
Well, congratulations. We're going to go on down to the starting grid now with my colleague John Bizignano. We're ready for the next race.